Hi, and welcome to this installment of Frank and Mary here in Northborough. If you haven't seen this show before, my name is Art Bergeron. My day job, I am an elder law attorney at Myrick O'Connell. But this show has nothing to do with elder law. It has to do with my friends Frank and Mary. You've seen them. If you've seen presentations of mine or seen this show, Frank and Mary, their goal in life is to live in their house until they die and be buried in the backyard. And if they're in Northborough, that means they want to stay here. My wonderful co-host, Chris Lindquist, always finds these great co-hosts to be, or these great guests to be on the show because Chris, from his job running the library, seems to just know everybody and he's just kind of out there. So he has all these wonderful folks. This is the COVID-19 edition of Frank and Mary because Frank and Mary are now stuck in the house all the time. We can't get out, want to know what's going on in their town. That's really the purpose of this show, to let you know what is going on, how you can kind of live through this whole experience, how memorable to find out that this is the experience we get, toward the end of your life. So Chris, can you just talk to us about whom we have for guests, although I see a few familiar faces today.
Well, Arthur, so today we've got three wonderful guests with us. First of all, we've got Leslie Harrison, and Leslie is a Rotarian, and she's here to talk about Partners in Health and Dr. Paul Farmer and the incredible work that he's doing over in Haiti, helping with health needs in Haiti. And then we have Pat and Skip Doyle from the Rotary also, and I'm a Rotarian, by the way. So really, Arthur, you've got four incredible Rotarians here today, and we're just going to talk a bit about Partners in Health and how the Rotary has been supporting that organization. And also Leslie's going to talk about our project and our plan to invite Dr. Farmer to Northborough this fall. Of course, we don't know what's going to be happening in the fall, but our tentative plan is to have him come and give a talk at the high school. So I'll say welcome to Leslie, and perhaps she can give us a bit of background about that project.
Leslie.
All right. So I'll start with a little bit of history, actually, a little background. I've been going to Haiti for about twice a year for the last 6 years. And before I went to my first trip, I asked for some recommended reading, and someone said, you got to read a book by Tracy Kidder called Mountains Beyond Mountains. So I read it, and it's basically a biography of Dr. Paul Farmer. Amazing book. I read it 6 years ago. I tend not to remember books for very long, what I've read. So 6 years later, I'm on a trip to Haiti the day before the earthquake anniversary. So January 11th of this year. And I'm getting ready to get to my window seat. And there's this guy about to sit in the aisle seat. And I said, hey, could you, just hold on a second. I'm going to scoot in. And I see he's wearing a Partners in Health vest. So I, being the smooth person that I am, I said, oh, do you work for Partners in Health, or did you get the vest some other way? He said, no, I work for Partners in Health. And then I said, do you know Paul Farmer? And he said, I am Paul Farmer. So this is a world-renowned, humanitarian doctor. So I was kind of embarrassed. But then I even asked him a couple of times if he was pulling my leg. But in any event, so we sat down, and no one took the center seat fortuitously, and we ended up chatting for the entire 4 hours. So it was quite a remarkable experience, and he's an amazing guy. Anyway, so that was sort of the genesis. And then after I got to Haiti, I started, sort of looking into him again, and discovered there's this documentary that he had not mentioned called Bending the Arc that was done in 2017, which tells the story of Partners in Health and their work, not just in Haiti. They actually got their start in Haiti in 1983, but they've been working in 12 countries around the world. So I approached Chris to see if he wanted to partner with the library, and Skip and Pat if Rotary wanted to co-sponsor it. So we were supposed to have actually done it this past week, this documentary screening, and invited Paul Farmer to come, and he was going to come as well. So it's going to be quite the event. We have rescheduled it for September 17th, but I don't think a crowded auditorium and handing finger foods around at a reception is going to be happening in September either. So we will, as Chris called it, kick the can down the road as far as we need to in order to do the screening right. So that's the story.
So talk to us about Partners in Health. What is it? What does it do?
So Partners in Health is an NGO, So Paul Farmer, so the genesis was Paul Farmer had gone to Duke. He decided before he was going to medical school, he wanted to go to Haiti. So he went to Haiti for a year, and he met someone named Ophelia Doyle, who actually is the daughter of Roald Dahl, and they became passionate about the work that they were doing in Haiti. And fast forward 4 years, Ophelia Dahl and Paul Farmer and someone named Jim Kim, who ended up becoming the president of the World Bank, and he's pretty renowned. They founded in 1987, co-founded Partners in Health. So they started their work in Haiti. Kind of their claim to fame is they say we go, we make house calls, and we stay. They build health systems and they stay. They don't just go in. They're not like disaster relief. They go to, they call it accompaniment. So that's kind of their claim to fame is accompaniment. They go in, they hire, I think like 95% of their employees around the world are locals, are natives. And that's what they do. So their accompaniment is their claim to fame. And they say that health is a human right. So that's really their mission, is to provide health care to all. They call it a preferential option for the poor, which is to say that not only do the poor deserve good health care, because of their circumstances, they deserve even better health care. So, Paul will kid about bringing the quality of health care from Haiti to Harvard.
Yeah.
And so you've been going down regularly for many of these years?
I've been going to Haiti twice a year since 2014. I started actually my involvement with an organization called Be Like Brit, which is a Massachusetts-based organization. Brittany Gengel died in the earthquake in 2000. There was an earthquake in 2010, January 12th. She died at the Hotel Montana. And her parents, she had written a text saying that her dream was to open an orphanage in Haiti someday, and then she died a couple hours later. So her parents took that as their mission, was to start an organization called Be Like Brit. So I started with Be Like Brit. There's another organization called Tree of Hope Haiti that I've been involved with, and Skip and Pat actually. I'm going to hand it over and let them talk a little bit more about Rotary, Rotary's involvement, and Tree of Hope Haiti. So yeah, I've been kind of all over the map in terms of my involvement with Haiti. So it's a country that kind of sticks with you. And
that's great.
I know that in the last show I was referring to the fact that I have a brother-in-law now deceased who was a very active Rotarian and who was known by some of your other guests. But he had been to Haiti several times, right? And so there were a lot of connect. And then I found, so my wife was a teacher's aide for years and years with little kids. And so she introduced me to Roald Dahl, who is like my favorite writer. His daughter was this guy's wife.
No, they didn't get married. They actually did have a relationship, but he proposed and she turned him down. Said, I can never compete with your love for Haiti and your patience. But they've become they're partners. They're business partners and friends. And Ophelia will say, our relationship is much better, than it ever would have been as a marriage. But Paul's married. He ended up marrying a Haitian woman and has 3 kids. And Ophelia has a partner and a kid. And,
But just to note, because Doyle actually was from, I think he lived in Africa. I'm sorry, I digress. I didn't mean.
Oh, that's okay. It's your show.
That's a fascinating thing.
Fascinating
thing. And can we talk? And you want to talk a little bit about what kind of how Rotary has been kind of participating in all of this?
Okay. Well, it's kind of last time we were on the show, so to speak, on your show, we talked about Rotary's involvement with the community, what we're doing in Northborough. But Rotary, as you know, and maybe everybody ought to know, is a world organization. And just interestingly, Rotary has a foundation. It's actually one of the #1 foundations in the world. And one of the things it says, and it's part of its mission, is to enable Rotary members to advance world understanding, goodwill, and peace through the improvement of health. There are other things to it, but it sort of all comes full circle to what would the Rotary Club do, but the Rotary Club should be involved in world understanding and peace through its members. And so Leslie brought to us as a club her meeting with Paul Farmer and the excitement she had. We were actually away at the time, and we heard about it on the phone, and the excitement in her voice and the excitement that the club had when she presented it to the club was just, amazing. And to see the connection between Rotary and Partners in Health and health and world understanding and peace, it all came together for us. And so this is a project that we need to get behind. This is something we need to be a part of. And so, of course, at that time, it was sponsoring the film at the high school with the discussion and with Paul Farmer and with Chris in the library, and it all again came together. And then COVID-19 and the pandemic and everything changed. And Partners in Health needed help. They needed help with testing, it's the test kits, that particular piece of it for the world, not just for the U.S. at that time. They were talking about their other parts of the world. And so Leslie put together a program, which we have on our YouTube video, that you can see all about Partners in Health and what it's doing and how you can help. So Leslie, what did we do as we put that video together?
So so we created a video again. Partners in Health got its health. It started in Haiti, but they're now servicing Haiti, Malawi, Rwanda, Sierra Leone, Lesotho, Mexico, Peru, Russia, Kazakhstan, and the Navajo Nation. And actually, interestingly, so now to bring it even to home in Massachusetts, on April 3rd, I believe it was, Governor Baker announced a partnership between Partners in Health, the Department of Public Health, and the state of Massachusetts to start a massive contact tracing program for the state of Massachusetts. So all of a sudden, Partners in Health that is based in Boston, but the only area they've been working in the United States has been Navajo Nation, has become forefront in Massachusetts. So this has become even more relevant to us, as Massachusetts residents. And that program has become so popular so their expertise has been in such high demand that they have now, as of about a week ago, started an entirely new arm of Partners in Health called the Public Health Accompaniment Unit, which has been created in honor of this pandemic, but will be a permanent fixture. So will help to bolster our much needed, public health system nationwide. So it's really kind of staggering the impact that Partners in Health has had around the world over the last 30 years, but now in Massachusetts and even nationwide, right now.
That's where I had heard of it. That watching the news, we've heard of and I was saying, why do I know Partners in Health? That's a big deal. They're the major component of kind of coordinating the whole contact tracing effort here in Massachusetts.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty staggering. So we. Can I ask? Okay.
Can I just ask one other related question to this? Because this is inevitably, Rotary always thinks globally. So, Chris, I'm just going to do one more sidebar.
Sure.
Right? So my daughter, who was working at RISD and was working on this project with MIT, they were doing a water project to develop containers, more efficient containers, so that folks in Africa and other countries can actually wheel their water from the wells to the homes. And she was in Ghana at a site. She was just going out to Ghana for the first time. She's on this. Goes to the capital and she's going into this, small town on the way to a village. And there's in the little town, there's a little thing, and there's a Rotary flag. Rotary, meeting on, Thursdays or whatever. So she says, I got to stop. So she stops and she talks to the guy, right? She walks in and there's a, store owner, oh, yes, you have to come to Rotary. So she spoke at Rotary, that week about what they were doing. And I said, this is the most amazing thing, that there is this interconnection, not government based, it's an amazing thing. Sorry, once again, I digress, but it is strange how things connect,
Well, add to your digression. My first Rotary meeting I ever attended was in India. So it is definitely a worldwide organization.
Well, Arthur, as Pat and Skip know, and Leslie, Rotarians are welcome wherever you go in the world. If you see that Rotary symbol, right, you're kind of welcomed. You're at home, and we're kind of like ambassadors. We go throughout the world, and we all have this kind of familiarity with, supporting whatever the project is in that particular area. So, Leslie, I was wanting to get back to the documentarian, the documentary, Bending the Arc. And I know we're going to have a trailer, I think, as part of this show. Do you want to talk a bit about that documentary?
Sure. Yeah. So I have watched it. Skip and Pat have. I shared it with you, Chris. I don't know if you've had a chance to check it out yet. I know you've been pretty busy, so probably not. But it's really a stunning documentary. It's really masterfully done, and really just tells the story. So the program that we were planning is to have a meet and greet where Paul Farmer would come to the event, have like a 45-minute meet and greet, pass around finger foods. Again, hard to imagine right now, but we will get back there. Then we were going to show the documentary, and then there was going to be about a 20 to 30-minute question and answer session with Paul as well. So it's a real honor to have him come. Apparently, he never comes to these screenings, so it's a real honor that he will be coming to Algonquin Regional High School with a capacity of 850 in the auditorium. I'm hoping we will have a packed house. Again, hard to imagine right now, but we will get there. So we will hold this off until we can do it right.
And I know he spends probably, half his time at least in Haiti, but does he also live in the Boston area, Leslie?
So his homes are right now, he has a home in Miami, where his wife and the kids are right now. I don't know if he's still, but at least a couple weeks ago, I know he was hunkered down in Boston. He's actually the head of the Department of Global Health, Equity, I don't know the whole full name, at Harvard and also at the Brigham. So he sees patients at the Brigham. He teaches undergraduates and graduates at Harvard Medical School. He's kind of all over. So when he stays in Boston, he stays with a friend. And when he has his own room there, I guess he's a pretty regular fixture there. And but his official home, he has a home in Conge, Haiti, which is a squatter settlement. That's where he got his start. He has a home there and a home in Miami. So he's everywhere. And, he travels to all the other, 10 countries. So I don't think his feet are on the ground anywhere for very long.
And if people that are watching from home wanted to support this effort in Haiti, how would they do that? Would they go on the Partners in Health website? And do you know that address by any chance?
I do.
So it's happen to know that address?
I just happen to know that. Let me pull. We have a fundraising page set up specifically for our Rotary has set up a fundraising campaign, and hopefully we can include this in the. I'm trying to find the link. You'd think I would have it on the top of my head here. Fundraising. Okay, it is donate.pih.org. It's kind of long, but I'll say it's /page/outreach/view/campaign/Rotary of Northborough, and Northborough with the OUGH. Hopefully you can include this in the in the final cut of the video here.
Terrific.
Oh, absolutely. We get this. And once again, yet again, we want to thank Northborough Cable and CAT for doing just this great job for these shows, and whatever you need incorporated, we can get if there are phone numbers, whatever.
I appreciate that. Well, also, a link to the video would be nice too. We did create, as Pat mentioned, we did create a 20-minute presentation so that we could present to the district governor for Rotary. So it's about a 20 minutes. We have a YouTube channel. There's some other Partners in Health videos in there and a few other things that we've supported, projects that we've supported. So I can send you the link to that video. That would be great. And yeah, any support that, Partners in Health. So one thing that the Partners in Health initiative through the state is actually being funded through the state. So these donations will go to their work around the world, not to their work in the United States. And even this public health accompaniment unit was their first year it's like a multi-million-dollar grant from something called the Audacious Project. So that's all funded for the first year. So any of the donations will go to Partners in Health's work around the world, and the 12 countries that they serve.
Chris, can I also just ask a COVID-related question? Because inevitably, Rotary, once again, the tradition of Rotary, it's always thinking globally. So I would assume that Rotary is now thinking about this whole, kind of the COVID-19 response globally. Has that been happening, or could you talk about that? Because I'm just curious as to how they're thinking about this now. Because I remember reading 2 months ago, from some, when this was just starting, and the folks were saying, well, the big deal here is going to be in the third world. That the first world, there are going to be these economic consequences and all this other stuff. But we've got systems that can afford it, ultimately. whereas the big deal, the real death was going to be in the third world. And I'm imagining you folks are already. So I'm just curious.
Well, let me just, anyone can go to Rotary.org as a guest. And the flyer the banner right across the top talks about COVID-19 and how you can donate to the whole international program. So that's one way, to look at it. But Rotary has what are called grants, district and international grants. And so Rotary clubs, districts throughout the United States are banding together to take some of their grant money to get matching grants from Rotary International to help certain parts of the country. So there are all sorts of projects going on at the moment. And really the best place for someone who's not familiar with Rotary to find out is to go to Rotary.org, and they can find out. They don't have to be a member or they don't have to sign in. You can just, do it. So that's the best place to go and look. And of course, as we always say, anyone's invited to come to our meetings. We're meeting by Zoom now. So come and ask questions and visit us and find out what we have to say.
And one of the things we talked about the last time you were here, and really, maybe we should make them like co-sponsors. Are they going to be like regular guests now?
I think that's a great idea. They're willing.
But the last time they were here, as I mentioned, I said, I had always thought that Rotary was local business owners, but you said that you even take retired people, right? Isn't that a wonderful thing? And that your meetings are actually at the senior senior center or were when they're not Zoom, right? So can you just kind of speak to that and to the way that people might who want to be involved might be able to connect to you, right?
Well, it just happens that seniors are the people that have the time to devote to the projects that we are doing. And our particular club, as you know, has 2 or 3 great programs that we're involved in right now. And we're certainly looking for every age group from 25 on up to 97. But the seniors are just...
You actually include me in there. That's good.
Include us. And as you know, we have our young people, so we get our ideas and our energy and thoughts from the young people, and then the seniors give us their time, their talent, and in many, many instances, their treasure, because they're looking for a place where they can help. And also, we give a little bit of, we have fun. So we can laugh, and we can have next Tuesday is a Zoomerita meeting. Zoomerita meets at 5:30 on the 4th Tuesday of the month. So join us for a Zoomerita meeting.
And I think that's the one for which you needed to get a 1-day pouring permit from the selectmen.
You need to have at least one margarita for that meeting. Yeah.
Yes.
Is that before the meeting or during the meeting? Is there
all the way?
Before, during, and after.
Just once again, you inevitably find these great folks. Well, I know that you would want it to save a little time at the end, because we want to make sure we have that trailer so that we can build that in.
We do. I just wanted to mention one thing. So Leslie, I know you've gone over to Haiti a couple times a year, and 2010 was, I believe, when that incredible earthquake happened, right? So right. They've been recovering probably for the last 10 years and still recovering, I'm imagining. And here we have COVID-19. And so this exacerbates what was already a very challenging,
It's devastating, as Art said, not just for Haiti, but for all developing countries, because their health systems are so fragile to begin with. I mean, Partners in Health, one of the biggest hospitals prepared to deal with this, and you'll see in the video if you watch it, is a university hospital that they created in Mirabelais, Haiti, which is rural Haiti, but it's relatively close to Port-au-Prince, the capital city. And it just to kind of show, this is a little aside, to show how Partners in Health thinks. They called it the University Hospital of Mirabelais, and they said asked Paul Farmer, why there's no university. He said, not yet. So he built it with a vision, and there is a university in there now. They've trained over 100 doctors. So that's just the way They never say no to anything. They are the house of yes, as they call themselves. So yeah, it's pretty astounding.
And I'll get in one more plug. So obviously we're hoping that it's going to take place in September, but it may not. So people should obviously, check the Rotary's website, check the library's website. We're at www.northboroughlibrary.org. We'll have information about that on our site. And also, I think Dr. Farmer is working on a book, or maybe it's all ready to publish. He was going to be bringing that book. And what is that book about?
So he has written a book called Fevers, Feuds, and Diamonds. It's about Ebola. So it's very timely now. And he's actually now writing a COVID-19 chapter or epilogue or, something like that, an edition about, COVID-19. So he's actually looking for pre-orders. He asked me to plug pre-orders of the book. So it's on Amazon, available for pre-order. They're talking about it shipping in November 17th, but he said probably earlier, depending on how big the first printing is. So the more pre-orders there will be, the bigger the first printing will be, the lower the price will be, all that. So I can send a link to the book as well. Mountains Beyond Mountains. If you have not read Mountains Beyond Mountains by Tracy Kidder, it is an astounding book. And then Paul Farmer has written like 10 books. So with the other funny thing, he said, when I met him, I said, after I said, I am Paul Farmer. I said, I read your book. And he said, no, you read Tracy Kidder's book about me. My books aren't that interesting, to show what a humble guy he is. So I took that as a challenge. So I've gotten through 6 of his books, and I got another 4 sitting here on a pile. And he's wrong. They're quite interesting. They're more academic, but he said that the one on Ebola that's coming out is actually written for the layperson. So I've been really plugging that one specifically.
Fantastic. Well, Arthur, just another great guest, 3 guests, and thank you all for talking about, Partners in Health and the Rotary. And, we just appreciate your efforts on behalf of those, that organization. And the Rotary really is just an amazing organization. There's so many things that are happening. That we talked about the Nutrition 68 program a few weeks ago. And, I just can't say enough about Pat and Skip and all the work that they're doing, and Leslie as well. And so thank you for being part of our show today. Arthur, I guess. And
I can't thank Chris Lindquist enough for really turning into a Northborough person. I mean, you got the guy, you should be getting a little honorary Northborough award pretty soon, for just like he's definitely gone native. There is no doubt about it. So
again, in person, let's all get together when this is, when things calm down and see each other in person.
So absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
So on behalf of my wonderful co-host, the almost native Chris Lindquist, and myself, I hope you enjoy the show. Consider any of those contributions to be advanced ticket sales for the presentation that you're going to go see someday, maybe in October. And we'll look forward to seeing you all again on the next installment of Frank and Mary here in Northborough. Thank you very much.
Et m'pas gon l'hôpital m'défecté, j'en dis qui j'en des maladies qui m'défait. Eh bien, celle ça a été fait pour moi, il était uniquement préparer tout testament. Je l'ai mis d'abord ici de l'hôpital Cange. Docteur Polo te dit non, m'poko ap mourir.
I went to Haiti in 1983. I hadn't even started medical school. I met the people who would become my best friends and coworkers.
I had never seen such abject misery in my life.
We started going house to house, and people were so sick.
And I thought, how can we get this fixed?
Jim and Paul were constantly going back and forth, and they would borrow things from some of the hospitals.
I would put that medicine in these big suitcases. They usually thought I was a tourist.
As soon as we opened the clinic doors, it was every possible disease you could imagine.
Elle a besoin d'urgence tout de suite. She's dying. I think it's too late. This was life or death. Getting medicines down there was life or death. And everything was conspiring against us.
The scientific community hated it. They said, it's not sustainable, it's silly, this could never be replicated.
We could not administer the program because we don't have the doctors.
In that script, we are uneducated, of course, stupid.
If you've traveled to rural Africa, you know this. People do not know what watches and clocks are.
None of our patients have died. One person died a few days after starting therapy because we started too late.
It took us from being outsiders right into the middle of the debate.
The results were dramatic and transformative.
We decided this could be something like a movement.
You are accountable to who? People are dying, my brother.
Rwanda is the most dramatic arc to a recovery.
Threats of the deadly Ebola virus landing in the East African region.
All borders are informed and screen anyone coming in Rwanda.
Tout le monde c'est monde. Si moi-même cap vivre jodi am ta aimé.
To me, this is about hope, and it's about rejecting despair and cynicism.